Hey, Biz Bestie. In today's Biz Bestie coffee chat, I'm going to be talking about visibility. Have you been feeling a little scared to be visible in your business, or maybe a lot scared? Have you been wishing that you could just hide behind your keyboard and still somehow make tons of money in your coaching business? I'm sorry, I got bad news for you. It is not going to work. However, today I'm going to be sharing some of my top visibility tips so you can ditch that fear and finally start signing more clients. I even wore my coffee and chill shirt today, and I realized you can't even see it on camera. Let's see. See, coffee and chill. In case we're meeting for the first time, I'm Chada Johnson, and I'm a tech strategist and digital creator here on YouTube. And I focus on helping coaches just like you with the behind the scenes tech in your business so you can get more clients with ease. Plus, I throw in some entrepreneur inspo along the way. So today is the day for some entrepreneur inspo, and I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is visibility. During these Biz Bestie coffee chats, it's our time to forget about the tech side for just a little bit, even though that is, one of my passions, and you can find all of those videos here on my channel. But I like to have these coffee chats so we can talk all things being an online entrepreneur, an online business owner, and in your case, an online coach. So today we're going to talk about being visible in your business. And this is a subject that is near and dear to my heart because it is something that I really struggled with back in 2020 when I finally decided, okay, I'm really going to try to make this business work and try to grow it. You can learn all about that in my entrepreneur story video that I have here that I did a few months ago. But during that time, I decided, okay, I'm going for this. It's going to work. I'm going to be able to quit my job, all the things. And I was working with a coach at the time and realized, okay, I'm terrified to go live. I'm terrified to post anything that even says I have a business. And it really opens your eyes to these limiting beliefs that you have and just the mental blocks that you have. So I learned that it was definitely a mindset issue, and it was something that I had to work through. There's a plane going by. So as I was saying, it really was just a mindset issue. And I will be honest, it is still something I struggle with a little bit today. Well, sometimes a lot of bit depending on the day, but I have learned some techniques that help me to push myself each day so that it really does get easier and easier. So today I'm going to share 4 actionable tips that you can take to start getting over your fear of being visible online. The first tip is go live. I know, you're groaning. You're like, I can't. But I'm telling you, it's going to help. So when you go live, you definitely want it to be in a strategic place. For some people that it may make sense to go live on your personal profile. In my case, I went live on my Facebook business page. And let me tell you, it literally took me 4 months, 4 months to gain the courage to do this live. So don't do what I did. Don't take 4 months, maybe 4 days, but definitely not 4 months. And I'll tell you that after I did that live, I actually liked it. I was like, what took me so long to do this? That actually wasn't that bad. Now, it may have helped that no one showed up. That might have been what kind of gave me relief. But you know what? The next time I did one and the next time I did one, people were showing up. And I still felt okay afterwards. I didn't feel like I was going to faint or collapse or something. And it wasn't the end of the world. Now, if you're worried about what you should talk about during your first live, or how you should go about it, one recommendation that I have is if it's your first live, or even if it's your first live in a while, maybe you did one a long time ago and you're not sure like how to get back into it, make this first live a simple introduction to you, who you are, and what you're offering in your business. It's super easy to talk about what we're doing versus coming up with all the content and trying to form some amazing viral story or something like that. Just keep it easy, keep it simple, and just talk about who you are and what you're doing and what you're offering. Because, as a coach, you're here to help people. So just let them know how you're there to help. The second tip that I have for you to ditch this fear of visibility is to join Facebook groups that have your ideal client as well as your peers in them. So as a coach, there are tons of coach groups out there on Facebook that you can join, and there's tons of groups that have your ideal client in them. So if you're wanting to work with women who are entrepreneurs, there's a group for that. If you're wanting to work with women who are trying to leave their 9-to-5 business to start their own business, or not, they're trying to leave their 9-to-5 job to start their own business, there's groups filled with those kind of women. And you just got to do some basic keyword research in Facebook to find those groups. But the key here is when you join those groups, don't just be a lurker. You have to be active. What I recommend doing is setting some time on your calendar, let's say 30 minutes a day. And during that time, you're going to go into those groups that you found. Start with a few at first, because it can get super overwhelming when you're a part of like 150. So start with your top 3 to 5 groups. Go in, see what the posts are, and start simply commenting and engaging with the people who are posting. And I'm telling you, as you start to talk to people, connect with people, it's going to make it easier for you to feel seen in these online streets. I'm telling you. So instead of lurking and just constantly scrolling, what you're going to do is actually engage in at least, 75% of the posts that you see. Obviously, some aren't going to make sense for you to comment on, but if you can comment on them, definitely do that. And in the next tip, I'm going to tell you what to do once you're making those connections in the comments. So tip number 3 is to start having coffee chats, virtual coffee chats. So this is something that I started back in 2020. And what I did was whenever I was engaging with someone in a Facebook group, and then I clicked on their profile and I saw that, okay, they looked legit and cool, I would add them as a friend. And when I added them as a friend, I would send them a DM saying, hey, we're chatting in this group. It was great to connect with you. Tell me a little more about your business. Or, if it makes sense to continue the conversation you were having in the chat or in the group, then continue it there. But basically ask them more about themselves. And if they respond to you and actually, start chatting with you and it feels right, you can go ahead and invite them to a Zoom coffee chat. And the way I did this was I set up a coffee chat appointment in my Calendly account. If you're not familiar, Calendly is an automatic appointment scheduler that I love for coaches. And what you do is you set up an appointment type, which I called, coffee chat. And then, you connect it to your calendar and you set the available times that you're available to have just a 15 to 30 minute chat. It does not have to be an hour long or anything crazy like that. And when I invited people to these coffee chats, I specifically said, hey, this is not for any sales. This is simply to get to know a fellow business owner, to network, and, get to know each other. And here's the magic in having those coffee chats. For one, you're either meeting an ideal client or you're meeting a peer, so another coach, or someone who's in a similar industry as you. And then you're actually on that coffee chat and you're saying out loud what you do. I know it may sound silly, but that made all the difference for me when I started having these coffee chats, to actually say, hey, at the time I'm a virtual assistant and I help coaches. And then eventually it was, I'm a WordPress virtual assistant and I help coaches. And now I'm a tech strategist and I help coaches. And then they would say, oh, well, what do you do for them? And then it kind of forces you to really be able to learn to articulate what it is you do and how you help people. And I'm telling you, having to say that, not over and over, but having to repeat that on a regular basis is going to make it real in your mind, and it's going to make you more comfortable being visible and offering that service. So highly recommend having virtual coffee chats. And I even made it a little goal of mine to try to have at least a few coffee chats a month, because really, especially now in my business where I'm trying to be more visible, grow my channel, grow all of these things, I am now in a position where I want to start collaborating with people and, maybe going live with them in their group, or maybe doing a YouTube video with them or something like that. And so when you start to make these connections and you check in with them, every month, every couple months, then you stay top of mind and they actually want to work with you either in a collaboration type of way, or they might even want to hire you. But again, remember, these coffee chats are not for sales unless they specifically ask you, hey, tell me more about what you do because I might want it. Then that's a different story. But it's definitely for networking purposes and to really practice using your voice to tell people what you do. And the final fourth tip that I have for you is to set a date and time every week when you're going to go live. So we talked about going live in the very first tip. And now that you got over doing that first one and it feels good and you're like, okay, I didn't die. I think I'm going to get through this. Now you're going to set a time every week that you're going to go live on your Facebook page or in your Facebook group or whatever makes sense for you. And here's why. Not only is it going to, give your audience something that they can expect from you, but it's going to work wonders with building your confidence and getting you comfortable being visible. Now, for me personally, I did this in the beginning for roughly 3 to 4 months. So that was like 12 to 15 lives every single week on, and I did it roughly the same time every week. If I remember correctly, it was like every Wednesday at 6 p.m. or something, because that worked with like my day job work schedule. And I did that for a very long time and then eventually, petered off. But now I still do go live regularly. But since things have kind of changed in my business, it's not the every single week, at that exact time anymore. But having that discipline and doing that for that period of time made such a huge difference, because it just made going live and being visible just a part of my life. It was something that I expected. It was something that my audience was expecting. And then it ended up that I just had a ton of content that I could just repurpose, which was awesome. So definitely save those lives that you do, because you might want to turn those into clips that you can put on like an Instagram story or put on IGTV or, send out in an email or put on YouTube, so definitely save everything that you do, because even if it's cringy, you might still want to use it in the future. Or at the very least, you can look back to see how far you've come. Like, wow, look at my first live. That was awful. I looked terrible, but now I had a little glow up and everything is great. So definitely save those lives. I hope those tips were helpful, and I hope that you're going to start on your path to get rid of this fear of being visible and to start crushing your business and going into 2022 feeling super confident in what you have to offer in your coaching business. Let me know in the comments what you're going to be doing to get rid of the fear of visibility, if you're going to take any of my tips and try them out this week. And I really hope that they help you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my future videos just like this one that I post every Thursday. And if you have a Biz Bestie that would benefit from this info, be sure to share it with her. I'll see you next time. Bye.